Hi everybody, I'm Alyce-Kay Reckelhaus from Threshold of Hineni and the Widow Reckelhaus, and we're going to work on a sewn masterboard. Now you do not have to sew one. If you don't like to sew, or you don't have a sewing machine, or you don't know how to sew, whatever, don't worry about it. Just glue another one. Glue 3 of them. Here's the one that we made together, okay? And then here's the one that I did off camera. I mean, it can go either way. Okay, and then I just kind of want to show you. So just imagine cutting this up into cards and stuff, and we can put like these little people on it. We can put stickers. We can put all kinds of fun things on the cards, you know, to make them special, to decorate them more. And I have like butterflies and flowers and stuff. You can cut pictures out of magazines to put on them. This is just a background. Okay, so let's set this aside. We're going to sew one. So I want to show you, I already went ahead and, you know, tore stuff, so it'd be easier, so I don't have to show you that again. All right, so the first things we're going to put on are the pages from the book, the written pages, and I want to kind of arrange these so that I've got the, actually, so I've got the biggest ones on top, because I'm going to use those first. And I have these, I've got the, I'm going to put the biggest ones on top too. Okay, I might actually, since I have more of these, I might do them first. And then I want to do these guys. And I'm going to take it so that I just to make it easier for myself, I'm going to arrange it so that I've got my darkest ones on the top and, you know, kind of working my way down. The ones that are boldest, I want those on the top. And the ones that are not quite as bold, I want those underneath. So these ones are all kind of not quite as bold. Maybe these. Okay, so I'm going to set those aside. This one's kind of a big one, so we're going to stick that in the middle. I'm going to set it aside so I can pull up my sewing machine, but I've got my little piles. I'm going to start out with the black and white design. I'm going to take the biggest piece and put it up here in the corner. You can put it any place that you want. Don't think about it too much, okay? And this isn't like Frankenpaper, so I'm just going to sew it on. I don't actually need to sew it in at the edge yet because I can do that at the end. Now the thing about sewing them is that when you cut your pieces apart, you're going to have to sew all the way around the edges, okay? Because like if I cut it here in the middle, here, let me show you. If I cut it, what's going on here? If I end up cutting it here in the middle, those parts aren't sewn down, so I'm going to have to sew around the edge when I'm ready to use it. So it's a little bit harder, but I think that it adds a lot of really neat texture to it. So that's why I really love to sew. And I'm not sewing the edges yet because I can sew that all the way around at the very end. So I'm starting with the black and white pieces. I'm starting with the biggest pieces first and kind of, you know, pretty much filling up the paper with the black and white, and then I'll just lay the other things on top for accent. I'm using a dark thread this time. Sometimes I use a light thread, but I do like the thread to show because, yeah, because it just adds to it. It adds texture, it adds design. I'm using a zigzag stitch because we're just doing, you know, straight edges. We can turn it pretty fast here. Hold on, let me get these stamps out of the way. Keep hitting them. Okay. And I'm not real worried about being perfect with my sewing. This is a junk journal after all. You know, so you don't need it to be perfect. But I do want to get those edges sewn down. Okay, I may not even use all of the coloring pieces. Okay, so this one I'm going to do like, right there. I was thinking as I tore out the paper, this page, that I could just I could have just laid it right on top of the paper and just sewn it on. But I wanted to have you know, things going different directions and everything. I think that adds interest to it. Okay, so see how I'm sewing all the edges, but not the edge of the paper, okay? So I have one more of these pieces, but I'm going to set it aside. I don't think I need it. Okay, and then, let's see, let's put this piece right here, like that. And sew all the way around this one. And this you won't want to use for writing cards because the back is going to have stitching all over it. It would be like next to impossible to write on. So this will be for like pockets and belly bands, the kinds of things that you don't see the back of. Okay. See, doesn't that look nice with all the stitching? I just really like it. I think it's very pretty. Oh, that's just the right size there. And it'll overlap that other piece going in a different direction. That'll look cool. So again, don't think too much about it. Just put them on wherever you think looks good. And you know, as you do this more and more, it's like you train your mind to recognize what's going to look good. And then you don't have to think about it, really. And then I've got this little piece here. Let's put this down here in this corner. It's really hard for me to not stop. Let's turn this upside down. It's really hard for me to not stop and read the pages. Do you guys do that? It's like, oh my word. Now sometimes, this one I wanted black and white, but sometimes I'll run pages through my printer. You know, like to get a design on top of the print, and that looks really pretty. Other times I will do like a stencil on it. Okay, so that's how it looks now. Let's see, that's how it looks now with those pieces sewn on. Okay, I could cut this and put them in a couple spaces if I wanted to, but I don't. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to add these on. I'm going to add on these two dark pieces first. I think I'll put this one right here, and I'll put this one up here. Okay. My husband got me this sewing machine for a wedding present. I still haven't learned how to use, like, it's got an embroidery feature. I have not ever used that. I need to learn how to do that. Special, and he loved my junk journals. He said that they were hairy because they had threads hanging out all over the place. Okay, so I don't put pieces that are the same too close together because I want it to kind of balance out, even though I'm going to be cutting this all up. I don't know, I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm going to cut it all up, but in the meantime, I like it to look nice and balanced. You know, not perfectly balanced, not asymmetrical, but just kind of balanced. Okay, so let's do maybe up here. So I just got a message from my mom that the place that was the closest to them that was free for COVID testing is closed until after the balloon fiesta. So she has to find another place. So I'm not going to know right away if they're okay. Let's put this right here. Let's do it like that so it's overlapping 3 different things. See, and we don't want to we just want it to be balanced. We don't want it to be the same, you know, like a Rorschach test or something. And you don't really have to have it balanced, you guys, because seriously, you're going to be cutting it up, so nobody will know. You could have all of the same pieces over on one side and that really doesn't matter. Now with all the stitching and stuff, I probably won't stamp or stencil on this. I might, we'll see, like if we have a lot of space left, but probably not, because the stitching really adds so much to it. Push this back here so it's not bugging me. Okay, then we've got these two. Let's put this one right here, shall we? And then this one maybe like that right there. Okay. Hear the train? That's like 2 blocks from me. I don't usually even notice it, except if I'm like making a video or teaching a class online, then I notice it, or my students notice it and ask me what the noise is. Otherwise, I'm pretty much used to it, so I don't really notice it. Is that where I said I was going to do that? I'm not sure. This machine threads itself and it cuts the thread. It doesn't cut it right down to where you end. It cuts it with like about an inch sticking off, which makes for the nice shabby chic kind of look. Really like it. Okay, just a few more. I don't think we're gonna need to use all of these. Let's put some orange. Right here. I think I only have that one that's like that. So this will just like coordinate really well with the rest of the book. And even though I'm using some papers that I didn't use as pages in the book, it's all coordinated. That's what's really nice about using a paper pad. I don't do that all the time, but whenever I do that, I think, oh, I should do this more often. Okay, what do I want here? How about this right there? Have any of you had a run-in with COVID? Or have you been able to stay pretty safe from it? How has it affected you? I'd kind of like to hear about that down in the boxes below. I will, eventually, because the last book that I put out was set in 2019. So there's going to be one that involves COVID. And I would love to have your stories to put in there. If you want to share a story but you don't want me to use it in my book, then by all means tell me. Don't use this in your book, please. But if you don't mind. Okay, I think that's still going. My alarm went off. But if you don't mind me using, I won't use names or anything like that, and I'll probably change some details too. But if you don't mind me using your story, then let me know in the comments when you tell about it. Let's see. Oh, I like this piece. That needs to be in here. How about right here? See how this is looking so pretty? And next I'm going to make sure that there aren't any spaces that don't have something on them. I don't have stamps for this one. postage stamps like I did for the other two. Those are kind of, sometimes I do sew them on, but it kind of obliterates the look of the stamp when you sew on it. Okay, so maybe right here to break that up, and then maybe just something over here like this. Not pink. How about green? There we go. That's good. Okay, yeah, that would be good. To just kind of break up those two large places. You know, the other thing is that these boards, especially when I'm using heavy paper like this particular book had, the boards do get to be a little on the heavy side, which is nice because they're really sturdy, but you wouldn't want to use them for pages. You could use them for a cover. They're definitely strong enough to use for a cover. You would want to make it a little bit bigger though than the pages that you're that you have inside. Like I go for like 1/8 of an inch bigger than on each side. So that means 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch bigger on the top and bottom, on the top and bottom together, and about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch bigger on the other sides. Okay. All right, so that's good. I like that. Put it up here where you can see it. Okay, so that's really good. I don't think I'm going to stamp it or anything. I still have some scraps left, and I'll put those. I have this little thing that I keep scraps and other things in for this, for the particular one that I'm working on right now. And so I can just put all those there. And then I have them to use for other things. All right, so that's it, you guys. We have 3. We have 2 that are glued, and then we have this one here that is sewn. And I don't trim all these threads, I just leave them. I like them to be kind of shabby chic looking. Okay, so we've done our master boards. We're not necessarily going to do these in order, but I probably will put lace on the pages next. We'll see. I might surprise you. All right, you guys, I love you. I will see you later. Mwah. Bye-bye.